and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Could we please get roll call?
Scott Hansen,
Here.
Ben Terrell,
Here.
Lisa Lewitsky, Ray Whitaker,
Here.
Ed Kemp,
Here.
Tim Catron,
Here.
Zachary Dillinger,
Here.
Frank Holmes,
Here.
Ryan Ross.
Here. Thank you. Have the proper notices been posted and sent?
They have.
Okay. What are your wishes for the agenda this evening?
Move the agenda. Support.
We have a motion to support to approve the December 3rd, 2025 minutes. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carries. Next on the agenda, we have public comments. And if anyone would like to speak on anything that's not on the agenda, now is one of the times to do so. Okay, seeing none, we'll move into DCAs and conditional use permits. When the staff is ready, if we could have the staff report for CU-12-25-20, please.
Mr. Chair, Mr. Pitlack is running just a couple of minutes behind, so I'd like to move on with CU 12-25-21, if I may.
Sure.
Thank you. This is a request by Daniel and Peggy Lapointe and Preston and Sydney Shealy for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a landscape business as a construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment per zoning ordinance section 14.29 at 6547 West Butterfield Highway, section 36 of Bellevue Township. The property is 14.41 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural zoning. The land use history has been consistently a construction contractor's establishment. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and an additional construction contractor's establishment. The soils class is non-essential. West Butterfield Highway is a major road. The applicant's request to operate a construction contractor's establishment and storage of heavy equipment. The property owners state, we, Dan and Peggy Lapointe, used to operate our existing landscaping business from this property prior to the property being leased by Consumers Energy. Our contract with the Consumers expires in November of 2025. My nephew and his wife, Preston and Sydney Shaley, are purchasing our landscaping company and this property. The landscaping company will be moved from across the road, 6578 West Butterfield Highway, to this property. Change to location and owner of business. No change in business operation is proposed. Hours of operation will be Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. The company has 5 employees. 2 to 3 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. The existing building located on the property is used for office, storage, sales, and maintenance of equipment. There is an existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property. There is a restroom located in the building. The applicants use Waste Management for trash service and state no debris are brought back to the site from the customer's property. Items stored on site include trucks, trailers, front-end loaders, dozers, excavators, dump trucks, and semi-truck with 2 trailers. There is 1 existing driveway to the site. It is not paved and does not have curb or gutter. Traffic to the site includes up to 10 customer vehicles per day as needed for job sites. Parking is provided for 8 vehicles. The parking area is lit and paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks and light delivery trucks. Property owners state there have been conditional use permits issued for this property. Daniel and Peggy Lapointe started their landscaping business from this property in 2006, CU 70622. We moved our business across the road in 2015, CU 111531, because Consumers Energy needed more space for their business. CU 3133 is the Consumers Energy conditional use permit. The applicants state this request should be granted because our nephew and his wife, Preston and Sydney Shealy, are purchasing this property for our landscaping business from us. We expect the sale to be complete in December of this year. Preston and Sydney have worked for the company for the last 10 years. They know what needs to be done to operate the business in compliance with all of the rules and regulations. They live in the home on the property located to the east of this property. If approved, the conditional use permit should be issued to Preston and Sydney only. This application was sent out for site plan review. I did not have any of the responses at the time of the writing staff report. Since then, MDOT has responded, and this response was forwarded to the applicant, and they are working with MDOT. Thank you for sending MDOT the site plan review for CU 122521. MDOT would require the existing commercial driveway to be upgraded to meet the minimum commercial driveway specifications, of which include being surfaced with concrete or asphalt. An MDOT right-of-way permit application along with a site plan for review and approval, a $15,000 individual performance bond, and a liability insurance requirements will need to be submitted electronically to MDOT before a permit can be issued. Permits can be applied for through Michigan Gateway MPG. It just goes on to give more permitting information. The current property owner, Miss Peggy Lapointe, is working with Larry Thalen to become compliant. Eaton County Road Commission commented that this is a MDOT section of Butterfield Highway, so they have no comment. The Conservation District reviewed the application. They have no concerns. And the Drain Commissioner's Office approved the application. 4 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No responses were received regarding this application. Included in your staff report is zoning ordinance section 14.29, construction contractors, establishment, and storage of heavy equipment. The property is master planned as agricultural preservation. Staff comments. A construction contractor's establishment and storage of heavy equipment is a use permitted in a limited agricultural zone district with a conditional use permit. As stated by the property owners and applicants, this type of business has operated from this property without complaints since July of 2006. If the zoning ordinance states fencing may be placed on both sides and rear of the property or of the storage area if the planning commission specifies the type and location of such fencing. The ordinance also states the site may require a buffer yard to act as visual screening or block noise, light, etc. Additionally, it states no building material, scrap, or equipment other than heavy equipment shall be stored outdoors in any configuration higher than the surrounding fence or screening. The planning commission may wish to review the site plan aerial photo to determine if any fencing or additional buffering is needed. Parking requirements for the zoning ordinance are 1+1 for each employee, not to include spaces designated for the outdoor storage of equipment and vehicles for the operation of the business. Per the application, there are 5 employees. The applicant has proposed 9 parking spaces on their site plan. Staff has reviewed the site plan against the standards listed in zoning ordinance section 8.4.3. Staff finds the site plan to be complete as presented. The planning commission may use sections 9.3.6 and 14.29 included in the staff report to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Does anyone have any questions for staff? This is currently right across the road from where it is now.
Correct. Mr. and Ms. Lapointe have another application on here for a change of conditions simply to remove this business from their conditional use permit.
Seeing no questions, if the applicant would like to come forward and if there's anything they would like to add.
I have nothing I can add, but I'm open to any questions if anyone has any questions for myself or Peggy.
Where's the nearest house?
The nearest house would be to the west.
Roughly,
In between the parking lot, there's probably 80 feet between the house and our parking lot. There's also trees in between.
Could you state your name for the record, please?
Yes, my name is Sydney Slay. Peggy Lapointe, sorry.
so do we have any questions for the applicant?
The house you're talking about to the west, that's in that, what would be parcel B on your boundary survey? That little notch out? Okay.
Yep.
And you own the home to the east?
It's correct.
Any other questions?
I looked at the site, and if I remember, there are the tree screening that's pretty good between this property and that house.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I believe that the screening of the trees is pretty good between this house and the property.
Yes, that is.
on the aerial we have, it looks like there's a a house back there, kind of where you're gonna be storing stuff back, that far back?
That's, yeah, it's the southwest corner.
Okay.
And it's Joan Barnell, and she's lived there when we had the landscaping yard there before.
And we have a good relationship with them now.
Any other questions?
Make a motion to support, excuse me, to approve CU-12-25-
I gotta see if there's anybody else that wants to be in favor of, or, sorry. All right, thank you.
Yeah, it was.
Is there anyone else that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Now, Ray, if no one else has anything they'd like to say, you're set.
We good? Make a motion to approve CU-12-25-21.
Support.
We have a motion and support. Is there any discussion? Okay, if we get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Russ.
Yes.
Your application has been approved. You will get your new conditional use permit in a few weeks. There'll be a signature line for you to sign it and return it back to me, okay? Thank you.
Staff report 12/25/20, or are we skipping again?
I'm going to let that be up to the planning commission because the very next application relates to the one you just heard. So we can either continue on and then go back to Mr. Pitt.
do that.
Okay, good. Staff report for CU 11-15-31, a change of conditions request by Daniel and Peggy Lapointe. They are requesting a change of conditions of an existing conditional use permit which allows for the operation of a construction contractor's establishment and storage of heavy equipment, construction and excavation business per Article 14.29 of the ordinance at 6578 West Butterfield Highway, Section 25, Bellevue Township. Specifically, the requested change is to remove the landscaping business from the operation. The property is 37.7 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural, surrounded by limited agricultural zoning. The land use and site history is residential and a construction contractor's establishment. Surrounding is residential, agricultural, and a construction contractor's establishment. The soils class is essential and non-essential. West Butterfield Highway is a major road. The applicants request a change of conditions of their conditional use permit to allow for the operation of that allows for the operation of a landscape business, construction business, and excavation business as a construction contractor establishment and storage of heavy equipment. They state, in 2015, we are approved to operate our landscape and construction business from this property. While we wish to continue our construction business from this property, we are selling the landscaping business. There are no changes to our business operation for the construction business. We will remove the mulch and stone bunkers from our property as shown on our attached site plan. Hours of operation are Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturday from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. The company has 3 employees. They will be on site during the hours of operation. The existing building located on the property constructed in 2016 is used for office and storage. There is an existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property. There is a restroom located in the building. The applicants use waste management for trash. Items stored on site include trucks, trailers, front-end loaders, dozers, excavators, etc. There are 2 existing driveways to the site. They are not paved and do not have curb or gutter. Traffic up to the site includes up to 6 to 10 vehicles per day. Parking is provided for 8 vehicles. The parking area is lit but not paved. Supplies are brought to the site by light delivery trucks. The applicants state this request should be granted because we are applying for this change to remove the landscaping business from our conditional use permit. Our nephew and his wife are purchasing the business and moving it across the street where it was previously located. This application was sent out for site plan review. At the time of writing the staff report, I did not have the responses. Since writing, I have a response from MDOT that mirrors the response from the last application. It essentially states that they need to apply for a commercial driveway permit to upgrade their driveway to MDOT's commercial standards, provide a $15,000 individual performance bond and liability insurance. They will be submitted electronically before a permit can be issued. Again, I have confirmed that Ms. Peggy Lapointe is working with Larry Thalen of MDOT to be compliant with that. The Eaton Conservation District reviewed the application. They had no concerns, and the request was approved by the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office with no comment. Zoning ordinance section 14.29 is included in your staff report. The property is master plan for agricultural preservation. Staff comments. A construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment is a use permitted in a limited agriculturally zoned district with a conditional use permit. This existing business has operated from this property since 2015 without any complaints. The applicants are requesting the change to remove the landscaping operation from their conditional use permit. Staff has reviewed the site plan against the standards listed in zoning ordinance section 8.4.3. Staff finds the site plan is complete as presented. The Planning Commission may use section 9.6.3 and 14.29 included in the staff report to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Any questions of staff? So we're just removing the landscape business, correct?
Yes, given the circumstances around planning and zoning, I thought it best to make this extremely clear. At no point have we had two landscaping companies across the road from one another, and because Mr. and Mrs. Lapointe's conditional use permit allowed for the landscaping business, they were selling that. I just thought it best, and to make it clear for the township at the point that they take over this legal nonconformity, that it spell out what they're allowed to do.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for staff? Would you, anything you want to add?
Nothing to add.
Anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you. Anyone like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst commissioners.
I move we approve the change in conditions for conditional use permit CU-11-15-31.
Support.
We have a motion support. Any discussion? Seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
yes,
Ryan Ross.
Yes.
Peggy, your request was approved. I'll get your change of conditions, conditional use permit to you to sign and send back to me. You have 3 more applications to sit through till you get back up.
When you are ready, if we could have the staff report for 12-25-20, please.
A request by William and Kathleen Pitlack for a conditional use permit to operate an excavation and contracting business as a construction contractor's establishment and storage of heavy equipment per zoning ordinance section 14.29 at 1296 Island Highway, section 17 of Eaton Township. The property is 40 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural, industrial, and the city of Charlotte. Land use is residential and agricultural. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and an airport. The soil class is essential. Surrounding is essential and non-essential. Island Highway is a major road. The applicant requests to operate a construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment. They state, existing excavation and contracting business. We demolish buildings, install septic tanks and drain fields and landscaping. We do not bring any waste back to the site. Hours of operation are Monday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Emergency services, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The company has 5 employees. They are on site between the hours of 7 a.m. and again for an hour or so at the end of the day. The applicant proposes to construct a 60 by 88 building for the business. In addition, the applicants would like to construct a 20 by 60 lean-to addition onto the building identified as number 2 on the site plan. They say buildings identified as 5 and 7 on their site plan are also used for the business. There is an existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property. A porta-john for employees is located inside building number 4. The applicants use Republic for trash service. Items stored on site include trucks, trailers, and equipment. All equipment is stored indoors. Occasionally, a trailer or two may be left outside. There are 2 existing driveways to the site. They are paved but do not have curb or gutter. Traffic to the site includes 4 personal vehicles per day and 3 to 4 trucks with trailers per day. Parking is proposed for 6 vehicles. The parking area is lit but not paved. Supplies are not brought to the site. All materials are delivered to the project site. The applicant states they were notified of a violation. I asked about my proposed buildings for my business and was informed I needed a conditional use permit to operate from my home. The applicant state this request should be granted because I have operated my business from this property since 2017. I do not believe any of my neighbors have complained about the business. Since purchasing the property in 2014, we have made several improvements. Our company is our main source of income. This application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Drain Commissioner, the Barry Eaton District Health Department. The Charlotte Fire Department commented, "We have reviewed the variance requests," which was heard by the Board of Appeals last night and approved. They also don't have any, they didn't have any concerns regarding the business either. In addition, Eaton Township approved the application. The Road Commission commented, "I reviewed the above-mentioned CUP applications and have the following comment. A site visit indicated the current commercial vehicle access is off the property to the west of the westerly property line. This is not shown on the application and it is not on the parcel included in the application. I think the applicants needs to clarify the proposed access for the construction equipment and trucks. The existing driveways on the parcel are not sufficiently sized for two-way commercial use. The driveway west of the parcel that is currently being used shows evidence of damage to an adjacent utility pole, which supports the size being used as too small as well. If the existing driveway to the west of this parcel will no longer be used, I recommend the CUP require the westerly driveway on the parcel be improved to support commercial use in accordance with the Eaton County Road Commission permit policy." In speaking with the applicant and with the Road Commission, the applicant does not utilize that driveway that's in question, that is not on the property, and he is working directly with the Road Commission on bringing his driveways up to current standards. The application was reviewed by the Eaton Conservation District. They list that there are no concerns but may require FFA approval. This property does not, this business does not require FFA approval because the buildings are not in the approach zone. Staff comments. A construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment is a use permitted in the limited agricultural zone district with a conditional use permit. To date, staff has not received a complaint regarding the operation of the business. The zoning ordinance states fencing may be placed on both sides in the rear of the property or the storage area if the planning commission specifies a type and location of such fencing. The ordinance also states the site may require a buffer yard to act as visual shield, block noise, light, etc. Additionally, it states no building materials, scrap, or equipment other than heavy equipment shall be stored outdoors in any configuration higher than the surrounding fencing or screening. The planning commission may wish to review the site plan and determine if any fencing or additional buffering is needed. Parking requirements per the zoning ordinance are 1+1 for each employee, not to include spaces designated for outdoor storage of equipment and vehicles for operation of the business. Per the application, there are 5 employees. The applicant has proposed 6 parking spaces, which are shown on the site plan. Per staff's discussion with the applicants, they do not wish to have a sign for the business. Staff has reviewed the site plan against the standards listed in zoning ordinance section 8.4.3. Staff finds the site plan is complete as presented. The planning commission may wish to use zoning ordinance section 9.3.6 and 14.29 included in the staff report to determine if this business meets the ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Questions of staff? Okay, if the applicant would like to come up and see if they had anything to add to that.
I can answer any questions if you have any. I'm Will Pitlack, by the way.
Thank you.
Questions for the applicant? Okay. Thank you, sir. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commission.
I'll move CU 122520.
We have a motion support. Is there any discussion? Okay, seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Ryan Ross.
Yes. Okay, when you are ready, if we could have the staff report for CU-10-06-30, please.
Will, your request has been approved. I'll get your conditional use permit. You can begin working on getting your sealed drawings for any of your standalone or additions to your buildings that you'd like to start working on. Thank you. Staff report for CU 10-06-30, a change of conditions. A request by Jeremy and Catherine Harton for a change of conditions to an existing conditional use permit which allows for the operation of an agricultural business nursery with sales per zoning ordinance section 14.1 and a construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment, sale of landscape supplies per zoning ordinance section 14.29 at 3401 West Bellevue Highway, section 28 of Walton Township. Specifically, the request is to construct additional buildings and additions for the business operations and storage. This is wrong. I apologize, I have the wrong acreage in the staff report. The property is 2 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural. The land use is residential and agricultural. Surrounding is residential, agricultural, and a cellular tower. The soil class is essential, as is surrounding, and Bellevue Highway is a major road. I do apologize for that. The applicants are requesting a change of conditions of their conditional use permit, which allows for the operation of a nursery with on-premise sales as an agricultural business and sale of landscaping supplies as a construction contract establishment and storage of heavy equipment. They state no change to the business operation as approved in 2006. We wish to construct a 44 by 32 two-story pole barn, mostly for personal storage and some business storage as needed. In addition, we would like to construct a 16 by 30 addition onto our existing greenhouses to allow for more growing space and a 12 by 30 addition onto our existing sales storage building to allow for a cider press. We may also sell baked goods from time to time. The applicant also requests to construct a 6 by 10 covered porch area onto their existing storage sales building. The proposed covered porch is identified as item 7 on their site plan. Hours of operation are Sunday through Saturday, varying by season as follows. Spring and summer, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m., fall and winter, 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Up to 5 employees are on site during the hours of operation. Existing buildings used for the business include 2 24 by 72 greenhouses, a 30 by 40 storage building with a 24 by 30 retail space and a 15 by 20 retail space. The applicants state there's an existing well, septic, and drain field located on the property. They state that trash is removed by taking it to the Walton Township dump. It is stored on-site. It's stored on-site includes 3 delivery trucks, a trailer, tools, farm equipment, produce, plants, etc. The applicants state that there is 1 existing driveway to the property. It is not paved and does not have curb and gutter. Anticipated traffic to the site is 5 to 10 vehicles per day. Parking is proposed for 15 vehicles. The parking area is lit but not paved. Supplies are brought to the site by light delivery trucks. The applicants state this request should be granted because we have operated our business in compliance with the conditional use permit since 2006. We are in need of additional space to grow our plants and such. We also need additional space to allow for a cider press. The proposed new building is mostly to store our personal items, but we'd like the option to store equipment for the business if needed. Our business is an asset to the community. We offer a place for families to come and get their plants, pumpkins, and Christmas trees. The application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department and Walton Township. Walton Township commented, "Our board supported and approved the approve the change of conditions with the exemption of Section 15 disposal of trash at the transfer station for business purposes are not allowed. The Hartons have indicated that 15 was completed in error and they get rid of their refuge at a landfill. 6 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail, and in addition, the Conservation District reviewed the application. They have no concerns. The Drain Commissioner's Office approved the request. Zoning ordinance section 14.21 and 14.29 are included in your staff reports. The property is, oh, I'm gonna go back up a minute. Lisa Lewitsky was planning to be here tonight, but she unfortunately is hitting some bad weather coming back from her clerk's meeting. She did visit the site as the vicinity member. And not knowing the property, she had some concerns. There is some active construction going on the property on the west. And Lisa thought that that was the area where their proposed pole barn was going, and it's not. So she thought that the scale of their site plan is off. She also had some concerns regarding the parking area. I know that the scale of their site plan is not off because I've been to the site before, but I was concerned about what she had mentioned about the parking area. She said that when she pulled in, 2 of their farm trucks were in the parking area and there was really no place to park. When I arrived to the site, I spoke to Mr. Harton. Those farm trucks were no longer there. They were only in the parking area the day that Commissioner Lewinsky was there because they were getting ready for the Charlotte Parade. So in addition, along the fence line currently right now are the building materials needed to do their 2-story pole barn in the addition onto their greenhouse and things of that matter. Those will all be gone by the spring as they hope to have the buildings constructed. So I did measure out the parking area, and they have the space as shown on their site plan. Staff comments. The applicants have operated the existing business without any complaints to the department since 2006. They are not requesting changes to the business operations. Rather, they are requesting to construct a new building primarily for personal storage, but would like to use it for business storage as needed. The building is identified as building number 6 on their site plan. In addition, they would like to add on to their existing greenhouse. This addition is identified as building number 2 on the site plan. They also propose 2 additions onto their existing storage sales buildings. The additions are identified as buildings 3 and 7 on the site plan. The existing business and proposed structures comply with zoning ordinance requirements for business operations, setback, lot coverage, and parking. The existing sign, as approved in 2006, is larger than the zoning ordinance currently allows, but is a legal nonconformity, therefore it may remain. Staff has reviewed the site plan per zoning ordinance section 8.4.3 and has determined it is complete for this application. The Planning Commission may wish to use zoning ordinance section 9.3.6, 14.1, and 14.29 of the zoning ordinance included in the staff report to determine if this business meets ordinance requirements and what, if any, conditions may be required. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff?
Yeah.
Please.
I'm wondering, does the conditional use permit CU 10-0630, just here for our information, there's really no change except the 2 buildings they're adding?
The 3 additions and the new building, yes.
Yeah. It's interesting, why on number 14, is it our purview to tell them how many people they can have, employees? It's number 14 on the back.
Number 14 where?
On the back of the packet, the last page. The original conditional use permit.
So when they were originally approved, they were also approved for a home business. And at that time, yes, the zoning ordinance did limit the number of, actually, the zoning ordinance now limits the number of businesses that a home business can have. Since their approval, the Planning Commission has determined that an agricultural business can also sell items as a part of their agricultural business. I think the Planning Commission has come a long ways in hearing applications and conditional use permits. So they're no longer going to have a home business. They're going to only have an agricultural business and a construction contractor's establishment.
Okay. Just seems unusual that you would tell a business how many people they can have working for them. Seemed like it'd be up to their choice and what their needs were.
That's, again, that's a home business requirement, and it's been that way since 2000.
Okay. Maybe it should be changed.
Any other questions for staff?
Do the conditions from CU 10-0630 from 2006 continue with this, or does this completely replace that?
Their new conditional use permit, if approved, would only include the requirements of an agricultural business and a construction contractor's establishment.
Why are they doing a construction contractor's establishment?
They sell landscape materials from their property on their site plan. If you look on that building, yeah.
Warranted construction contractor.
It's a smaller scale than the LaPointe's, but it's still the same type of business.
Any other questions for staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and state their case, or add, or anything?
I'm Catherine Harton.
Jeremy Harton. I don't think we got
I'm
any.
just asking for approval to build the structures that are needed for our storage and for personal and business.
Is there any questions of the applicant?
The agricultural business, so most of those products you grow on site, or do you sell other people's products? Grow on site, so.
We grow on site. We do sell soil that is
Okay.
from another company. And
And the mulch?
maybe some products here and there in the gift shop. But mostly it is crafting done by the family.
Would you say over 50% of what you sell is agricultural products from your
Oh,
operation?
easily.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
All right, thanks.
Anyone like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
So I'll just give some context to why I was asking about the 50%. I think, under the Michigan Right to Farm Act, farmers have, some prerogative to sell products that they grow off of their farm. And so I think we're kind of dancing around some of that with the farm business, the ag business piece, but definitely with the contractors piece, I think they'd still need the conditional use permit. So I think it does provide some clarity because that act is a little unclear. So I think it's a wise route to take to get the conditional use permit in this case. So, yeah, just why I'm asking and just given the nature, understand the nature of the business. With that said, I'll move CU 10-630.
Support.
We have a motion support. Is there any further discussion? Sure, Frank.
I just noticed on the front page under road class, it says North Chester Road is not a major road. Vermont Highway, I think may be the wrong.
I addressed that when I read the staff report and said that that was an error. That entire section's an error. So I verbally gave the correct information.
Anything else? Any other discussion? Okay, could I have a roll call vote then?
Guy Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes,
Brian Ross.
Yes.
You guys will receive your conditional use permit in a couple of weeks. All you have to do is sign it and give me back a copy, but your structures are going to require sealed drawings because they're open to the public. I believe you already have those, so when you're ready to submit those for plan review, give me a call, we'll get you through it. Okay? Thank you.
You are ready, if we could have the staff report for CU-12-2510.
This is a request by FG Cheney Limestone, Inc. for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from property located at 9400 Sand Road. Parcel numbers 130-028-300-07500, 130-032-200-02000, and 130-033-100-00100. 130-033-200-04000. Total acreage of the properties is 210.28 acres. The property is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural. The land use history is surface mine and agricultural. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and surface mine. The soils class is essential and non-essential, same for the surroundings. Sand Road is not a major road. The applicant requests a conditional use permit to continue the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance Article 14.25. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 10 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. An existing 40 by 75 by 20 pole building constructed in 1996 is used for the shop, office, sales counter, lunchroom, and 2 restrooms. There's an existing well and septic and drain field located on the property. Items stored on site include excavation equipment, water truck, existing processing plant, and limestone stockpiles. There are 3 existing driveways to the site. They are paved but do not have curb and gutter. Traffic to the site includes 20 to 30 haul trucks per day. Parking is provided by 20 vehicles. The parking area is lit but not paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks. The applicant states, "We received our first conditional use permit for these parcels on April 13th of 1994 and have been in continuous operation since that time with renewals of conditional use permit from the county and/or township as required." The applicant states this request should be granted because FG Cheney Limestone has been mining and processing limestone in Bellevue since 1946. Our customers buy our products for residential, commercial, and agricultural uses. We welcome the opportunity to continue to serve those needs through the continued operations. We strive to be good neighbors, provide jobs, and produce needed materials at competitive prices. The application was sent out for site plan review at the time of the writing the staff report. We did not have any responses. We received a response from Eagle, specifically Donna Cervelli, who is in the floodplain management program. Her comment, abbreviated, is that the above parcels do not appear to be in a regulated floodplain, therefore a permit is not required. It goes on to say what they could do if a permit were needed, but again, it's not in a floodplain, so they don't need one. The Eaton Conservation District reviewed the application. They noted no concerns, but Eagle advised seeking permits for various items. Eagle did not advise seeking a permit, so. The Drain Commissioner's Office approved with no comment. This application was sent, or the notification was sent out to 29 surrounding property owners. No responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.25 is included. The property is master planned as resource conservation and agricultural preservation. The resource conservation area is where the actual streams and drains are located, not where they're actually mining. Staff comments. The applicants have received a conditional use permit consistently since 1994, which has allowed for the continued operation of the existing surface mine. Eaton County Planning Commission amended the zoning ordinance in 2024 DCA 324-2, removing the expiration of conditional use permits issued for surface mines. The applicant is applying for their final conditional use permit. Staff has inspected the mine annually. The last inspection took place in October 2025. Staff has found the operation to be in compliance with the current conditional use permit and this application. The applicant has a cash bond filed with the Eaton County Treasurer's Office in the amount of $21,500. This is in compliance with ordinance requirements and previous planning commission approval of a cash bond for half the amount required. The applicant is aware it is required to be compliant with all agency requirements, including but not limited to the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office, Eaton County Road Commission, and Eagle. As with any surface mine request, the planning commission may also wish to discuss the ingress egress from the site, dust control, road maintenance, and other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.3.6, basis of the planning commission decision, and Article 14.25, surface mining of the zoning ordinance have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff? Seeing none, if the applicant would like to come forward and give us any additions or anything else we should know.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Sky Cheney, Larry Mathewson, Cheney Limestone. As we stated, we've been mining there since 1946 and in the current location since '94. Would like to continue operations. Recently, just this last year, we partnered with U.S. Fish and Wildlife on part of our reclamation, where they have come in and planted about 20 acres of the reclaimed area to their natural grasses and flowers that are supposed to be habitat for birds and butterflies. And in exchange, we gave them a 10-year contract to not touch that area. We would like to continue working with them as long as their program's still available on future reclamations. Other than that, you know, we're still over half our production is agricultural lime, so many of the farmers are pretty happy that we're there, and we'd like to keep them happy. So, any questions?
How many acres do you currently?
Is open excavation. I'm gonna say the part that's not reclaimed is probably in the area of, what about? I'm guessing.
Doing the math for you.
Oh, we're gonna have an answer here.
Currently, they have less than 20 acres. Their bond allows them to have 22 acres open.
Does anyone have any questions for the applicant?
Is anything being done to, in relation to that wetlands that's in the southeast corridor?
We won't be mining in that area.
So it's just left alone?
Correct.
Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you.
Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
Make a motion to support CU-12-25-10.
Support.
We have a motion to approve. In a support, is there any discussion? Okay, seeing no discussion, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Stu Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Sky, I will get you your final conditional use permit via email. Just sign it and send it back to me. Thank you.
And when you are ready, if we could have the staff report, CU-12-25-11, please.
Before I give the staff report, Danny Lapointe Senior is unable to be here because there was a water main break in the city of Olivet. Daniel Lapointe Jr., the two applicants, Junior is in Colorado, so the lovely Peggy Lapointe is here to speak on the application, just so we're clear. This is a request by Daniel L. Lapointe Sr. and Daniel L. Lapointe Jr. for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from the property located at 6098 Sherwood Highway, Section 25 of Bellevue Township. The property is 39.89 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural. Land use is surface mine, residential, and private road. It is surrounded by residential and agricultural. The soils class is essential and non-essential. Sherwood Highway is not a major road. The applicant requests a conditional use permit to continue the operation of a surface mine per Article 14.25 of the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 2 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. There is a well, septic, and drain field located on the property. The restroom is located in the home, is available for employees. Items stored on site include dump trucks, flatbeds, backhoes, cranes, railer train, dozer, bobcats, tools, tool shed, tools, trailers, pipes, fitting, and straw. There is 1 existing driveway to the site. It is not paved and does not have curb and gutter. Traffic to the site consists of 4 10 to 20-yard trucks 6 times a day. Parking is proposed for 6 vehicles. The parking area is not lit or paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks and pickup trucks. The applicant states they were previously found to be in violation for mining too close to the property line and keeping the plant too close to the property line. The applicant states this request should be granted because consistent with current use of the property and would meet general standards listed above, allow continuation of current business. The application was sent out for site plan review. At the writing of the staff report, no responses were received. However, I have some. The Eagle, Donna Cervelli Floodplain Management, said there is regulated floodplains associated with the Battle Creek and tributaries of these process parcels. Any filling, grading, or occupation within a regulated 100-year floodplain, 1% annual chance event would require a permit under the State Floodplain Regulatory Agency as found in Part 31 of the Waters Resource Protection of the NREPA as amended prior to construction. An elevation survey, I'm just going to go on to say that he is not filling or occupying. He is doing some digging, and he will be obtaining a permit from Eagle for the digging in the floodplain. But that's not typically done through Donna. That's usually done through Claire Watts, who does the wetlands. The Health Department approved the application. The Conservation District reviewed the application and commented no concerns as Eagle I believe it's supposed to read no concerns, but Eagle advised about seeking permits for various items. And the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office approved with no comment. Eight surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No written responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.25 is included in the staff report. The property is master planned as resource conservation and agricultural preservation. Staff comments. A surface mine has operated from this property with a conditional use permit since 1987. The Eaton County Planning Commission amended the zoning ordinance in 2024, DCA 324-2, removing the expiration of conditional use permits issued for surface mines. The applicant is applying for their final conditional use permit. Staff has inspected the mine annually. The last inspection took place in October 2025. The violation noted by the applicant has been corrected. Staff has found the operation to be compliant with the current conditional use permit in this application. The applicant has a surety bond in favor of Eaton County in the amount of $43,000. This complies with zoning ordinance requirements and previous planning commission approvals. The applicant is aware it is required to be compliant with all agencies' requirements, including but not limited to the Eaton County Drain Commissioner, Eaton County Road Commission, and Eagle. A legal nonconforming shared driveway to 6090 Sherwood Highway, a landlocked parcel identified as 1300244 400-100-00, has been used since the late 80s. Mr. Lapointe Sr. has made application to convert the shared driveway into a legal nonconforming private road. The legal nonconforming private road does not affect the operation of the mine. It is shown on the site plan. As with any surface mine request, the Planning Commission may also wish to discuss the ingress egress from the site, dust control, road maintenance, and other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.3.6, basis of the Planning Commission decision, and Article 14.25, surface mining of the zoning ordinance, have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions of staff?
We did not hear from the road commission, correct?
Did not, no. For reference, it is a dirt road.
No questions for staff? The applicant would like to come forward. You want to add anything to it, or?
I am here on behalf.
Are there any questions on this? Okay, guess you came up for nothing. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Opposition to the application? Okay, seeing none, we'll close the public portion and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Brandy, with the violation that was on here, was that noticed by you, or was that noticed from a complaint?
No, it was by me during the annual inspection. He was 1 foot over the storage area within the 25 foot to the property line on the north property. And his processing plant was about 10 feet too close. He has to be 100 feet from the property line. So when staff does the annual inspection, they are very detailed inspections. That's also why we require surveys of the property, so we can figure out where the boundaries are easily.
I move CU 122511.
Support.
We have a motion to support for approval of CU 12-25-11. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Peggy, thank you for standing in for both Mr. Lapointe's. I will get both of them the new conditional use print and have them both sign it and return it to me, okay? Yes, ma'am. I will likely just email it to you. Thank you.
Okay, next, when you are ready, if we could have the staff report for CU 12-25-13, please.
A request by Reinhart Cook, owner of Lyman Gypsum Products, Inc., for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from property located at 9449 Sand Road, section 32, Bellevue Township. The property is 46.18 acres in size. It is zoned limited agricultural. Land use is surface mine. It is surrounded by residential, agricultural, and surface mine. The site use history is also a surface mine. Soils class is essential and non-essential. Sand Road is not a major road. The applicant requests a conditional use permit to continue operation of a surface mine per Article 14.25 of the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 2 to 3 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. An existing scale house is located on the property. Portable toilets are also located on the property. They are cleaned by Briner Septic. Items stored on site include trucks, trailers, loaders, excavators, processing equipment, etc. In addition, lime will be stored on site. There is one existing driveway to the site. It is paved but does not have curb and gutter. Traffic to the site varies by weather and season, approximately 1,400 trucks per year. Parking is provided for 2 vehicles. The parking area is not lit or paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks. The applicant states the previous owner's conditional use permit was transferred to me, CU 10/17/18 in '22. The applicant states the request should be granted because it is a needed product and service that will have no adverse consequences on the surrounding properties. The application was sent out for site plan review. At the time I wrote the staff report, we did not have any responses, but I have some to read. Donna Cervelli from Eagle Floodplain Management said, the above site does not appear to be in a regular floodplain, therefore a permit is not required. Matt Hannes from the Eaton County Road Commission commented, I've reviewed the above-mentioned CUP and find no impacts to Eaton County roads. I have no objection to the CUP. This application was reviewed by Eaton Conservation District. No concerns, but Eagle advised about seeking permits for various items. Eagle did not advise about seeking permits because it's not in the floodplain. And the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office approved this request. 8 surrounding property owners received notice by first-class mail. No responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.25 is included in your staff report. The property is master planned as resource conservation and agricultural preservation. Staff comments. A surface mine has operated from this property with a conditional use permit since 1999. The Eaton County Planning Commission amended zoning ordinance section 2020, zoning ordinance in 2024, DCA 324-2, removing the expiration of conditional use permits for surface mine. The applicant is applying for their final conditional use permit. Staff has inspected the mine annually. The last inspection took place in October of 2025. Staff has found the operation to be in compliance with current conditional use permit and this application. The applicant has a cash bond filed with the Eaton County Treasurer's Office in the amount of $16,000. This complies with ordinance requirements and previous Planning Commission approval of a cash bond for half the required amount. The applicant is aware he is required to be compliant with all agency requirements, including but not limited to the Eaton County Drain Commissioner, Eaton County Road Commission, and Eagle. As with any surface mine request, the Planning Commission may wish to also discuss the ingress egress from the site, dust control, road maintenance, and other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.3.6, basis of the Planning Commission decisions, and Article 14.25, surface mine of the zoning ordinance have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Do we have any questions for staff? Okay. The applicant would like to come up if there's anything they'd like to add, clarify, correct?
My name is Rob Cook. I have nothing to add.
Is there any questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you, sir. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
I'll move CU 122513.
Support. We have a motion support. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, if we could get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes. Okay, Brandy, when you're ready, if we could have the CU-12-25-14 staff report, please.
This is a request by Reinhard Cook, owner of Lyman Gypsum Products, for a conditional use permit to allow for operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from property located at 8645 Kelly Highway, section 3, Vermontville Township. The property in totality is 185.7 acres. It is zoned limited agricultural. It is surrounded by limited agricultural zoning. The land use history, the land use and history is surface mine and agricultural. It is, the land use and history surrounding is residential and agricultural. The soils class is essential and non-essential. Kelly Highway is not a major road. The applicant requests a conditional use permit to continue the operation of a surface mine per Article 14.25 of the Eaton County Land Development Code. The site also serves as a stockpile location for lime and gypsum for agricultural use. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 4 to 5 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. The applicant proposes to construct the following buildings: a 100 by 240 hoop barn for his cattle, 2 80 by 160 hoop barns for lime storage, and 2 hoop sheds and a scale house. Portable toilets are located on the property. Items stored on site include front-end loaders, excavators, tractors, screeners, conveyors, trucks, trailers, lime and gypsum, sand, and gravel. There are 2 existing driveways to the site. They are not paved and do not have curb and gutter. Mr. Cook states the traffic to the site varies by weather and season, approximately 1,400 trucks per year. Parking is provided for 3 vehicles. The parking area is not lit or paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks. The applicant states my original approval was given by Vermontville Township in 2005. Since then, I have been approved by CU 1097, CU 1214-8, and CU 2222. The applicant states this request should be granted because it's a needed product and service that will have no adverse consequences on the surrounding properties. The application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department and Vermontville Township. The Vermontville Township commented they would like to add Saturday and Sunday for lime transport. The lime is for agricultural use and not associated with the actual surface mine operation. In addition, Donna Cervelli from Eagle commented, she is the floodplain management coordinator. The drainage area of the tributary to Round Lake Road at this location is less than 2 square miles. Therefore, a permit is not required from the Michigan Department of Environment, Great Lakes and Energy. And then I'm just going to stop there. Response was also received by Claire Watts. She is the wetlands management. It does not appear that the farmlands owned by Mr. Cook have regulated wetlands on them, and harvesting materials above the groundwater table would not require a permit. If the landowner is proposing to harvest or work beneath the groundwater table, I would advise they set up a pre-application meeting with Eagle to discuss further. It does not appear there are regulated wetlands on the property. A Part 303 permit through Eagle is not required to work within the orange and green areas on the listed parcel. The orange and green area she was referring to is the map that she sent me, which is not within the areas he plans to dig. The Road Commission commented, I reviewed the above-mentioned CUP application and have the following comments. I recommend the CUP require a commercial driveway permit be obtained from the Road Commission. The commercial driveway will need to meet Road Commission permit policies. I recommend the CUP proprietor obtain a haul route permit from the Road Commission and renew the haul route permit annually. Surety is required for the haul route in the amounts of $20,000 a mile for paved roads and $2,000 per mile for gravel roads. These are the same comments I had for CU 2222. With those comments, I have no objections to the conditional use permits. The applicant, Mr. Cook, along with the operator, Mr. Steve Briggs from Gale Briggs, is working with the Road Commission. They would like an asphalt approach. The applicant and the operator would like to put in a concrete approach. That may require them to get a variance from the Road Commission, but they're actively working on seeking that. The Eaton Conservation District reviewed the application and commented no concerns, but Eagle advised about seeking permits for various items. Eagle did not advise about seeking permits. Twelve surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No written responses were received. Zoning ordinance section 14.25 is included in the staff report. The property is master plan as resource conservation and agricultural preservation. Staff comments. Original approval was granted by Vermontville Township in 2005. to operate a surface mine on 53.27 acres. Mr. Cook applied for conditional use permits from Eaton County Planning Commission in 2009, 2014, and 2022. CU 10097, CU 12-14-8, and CU 2-22-2. I should have elaborated and state that the last approval is where he expanded the permit to the current area that is covered in his active site plan. The Eaton County Planning Commission amended zoning ordinance section 2024, DCA 324-2, removing the expiration of conditional use permits issued for surface mines. Mr. Cook is applying for his final conditional use permit. Mr. Cook purchased additional property in 2021 and combined all of the properties into one piece for a new total acreage of 185.70. Per his site plan, Mr. Cook proposes to have approximately 29.5 acres of storage and active mining area. Staff has inspected the mine and lime storage area annually. The last inspection took place in October of 2025. Staff has found the operation to be in compliance with the current conditional use permit and this application. Mr. Cook is not proposing any changes to his operation. Mr. Cook has a cash bond filed with the Eaton County Treasurer's Office in the amount of $31,500. This complies with ordinance requirements and previous planning commission approvals of a cash bond for half of the required amount. Mr. Cook is aware he is required to be compliant with all agency requirements, including but not limited to the Eaton County Drain Commissioner, Eaton County Road Commission, and EGLE. As with any surface mine request, the planning commission may also wish to discuss ingress and egress from the site, dust control, and road maintenance, and other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.3.6, basis of the Planning Commission decision, and Article 14.25, surface mining of the zoning ordinance have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Are there questions of staff?
Yeah, Brandy, can you repeat what you said? The township requested to add Saturday and Sunday hours for lime hauling? Is that what you said?
Correct. Mr. Cook stockpiles lime for agricultural use. He uses this site for that. The one at his mine in Bellevue, he sells from a site located right off M50. He does a lot of deliveries to farmers, so there are different trucks used for the gravel versus the lime. So the township wanted there to be some sort of designation separation between the actual mine operation and delivery of his agricultural lime to farmers.
Any other questions of staff? Okay, if the applicant would like to come forward.
Rob Cook, I have nothing to add at this point.
Do we have any questions? Okay, thank you, sir. Anyone like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? If you could come up and state your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Robert Myers, 8379 Kelly Highway. I have a house right in front of the pit that they're doing. I have so many questions. Like, what is the distance between my fence line to where they can be mining their gravel or their sand? As far as just hearing the dust control, there's no dust control out there. It's a mess. I've got so many pictures on my phone of mud tracked out on the road. It's just unreal. I would like to see silt fence put up. I would like to know a time frame when they can operate this operation. Like I say, the dust control, the traffic. They're not even 100 yards out behind my house, if that. When they started this, they shoved their topsoil, their overburden, right up tight to my fence, not knowing that was my property line. They knew that was mine, but they took it upon themselves to do this. This is a total disaster out here. is depreciating my value of my home so significantly, it's unbelievable. Like I say, if anyone would like to see these pictures, when they started this, he had a dozer. First of all, they started, and they said they were gonna run the driveway down where they haul their lime and gypsum. And they were gonna start at the back. Then they started right on my fence row. Then they put a driveway in right on my other fence row, which they never got a permit for. They never put a culvert in. I called the Eaton County Road Commission, and now they put a culvert up the driveway, at least, how many feet? Don't the culverts go in the ditch? They're flooding my property. I've got so many pictures on my phone. Silt running through my other property, my side yard. This is unbelievable. They are not playing by rules, regulations. Would anyone like to see these pictures of these roads? In the silt running through my property? I would love to show it to y'all. I'd love to put it up on the big screen so everyone can see it.
I don't think we really want to see it right now. If you'd had stuff to hand out to everyone, we would have probably, looked at them, but you can continue on telling us about it though, and.
Yeah, I'm concerned about the hours they work, the days. They obviously have been right out behind my house in the last week with an excavator. They got a flat spot right out my kitchen window, 100 yards. And I have a feeling that there's gonna be a screen plant. There should be a berm. I should not have to see this dust rolling through my property, listening to the banging, clanging of the buckets of their excavators, because they're so old, the buckets just bang, bang, bang nonstop. This is a nuisance to me. And I have lots of pictures. When water is running through my property from as wide as that mud water, I called Reinhardt up. I told him he needs to put some silt fence up. You know what he said to me? I don't have any. Well, I work construction. Every job we do, we have to have silt fence. Every ground we disturb, we have to have silt fence. They have no silt fence. They have nothing out there. It's a chaos. The mud, the tracked mud. I mean, the dust. People are driving through the road, and the dust is just whoosh. It's phenomenal. It's absurd. And that's all I have to say. And this needs to be addressed.
Is there any questions? Mr. Miners, I guess is.
Rob Myers. I live right in front of right on Kelly Highway, right in front of what they call a pit.
So you're to the east of the,
I am to the north. The pit is directly, you look out my kitchen window, and it's 100 yards out there. Like I say, they pushed, not knowing where their property line was, they pushed mountains of topsoil up against the fence. And like I said, it's just absurd.
I guess I'm not certain.
I believe it's right here is where he's talking.
The jog in the north property line right on Kelly.
Yeah. Kelly runs east and west.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Their north property line. Here.
I can't see that.
Sorry, sir. Let's get the big one out.
Right in front of where they're excavating now, it's pretty.
I mean, was there ever permits to get scales put in? I know they didn't get permits to put the driveway in, because I called Eaton County Road Commission. They said, you know what they said to me? They put a driveway in there? They never got no permit. I says, the reason I called, because they're flooding my ditch line out, okay? There needs to be a culvert in the ditch, not 50 yards up, or 40 feet, 50 feet up the driveway. Culverts go in the ditch to let the water flow through the ditch. They flooded my ditch. I got so many pictures, it's unbelievable.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Meyer? Okay, thank you, sir.
Have a good day.
Brandy, do you have anything that you wanted to add to that?
I do, but if we can get through public comment first and then have Mr. Cook maybe respond to the concerns, please.
Was there any other, anyone else like to speak in dissent to the application? Okay. Mr. Cook, do you want to address any of those?
I disagree with quite a bit of that. As far as the water and the silt, west of his property, I bailed that back in the 80s and 90s for his uncle. There's been a washout there right along. We've put dirt there so that the water stays on our property to the best of our ability. We can do more if necessary. But as far as that washing out, there's been a washout there since before we owned it a long time. It has not changed since we've been working there. As far as I think our setbacks are correct, we are working with the road commission. I guess, do you have other questions for me? You're working to get a concrete driveway. The driveway, The mud's not tracking. correct. And the holdup there is with, the road commission says it has to be asphalt. We want concrete. And so if you drive around the county, there's plenty, especially Eaton County, there's plenty of concrete driveways. They won't write us a permit for a concrete driveway. So that has to go in front of the road commission.
So just to clarify, so this west portion of this gentleman's property where there's not a berm, on our map, it shows the west portion's the only one without a berm. Is that the point where the water's running onto that property?
There's, the only, where we're at, there's a berm on the east side.
Yep.
There's a berm partially across the north side.
Yep.
We have a fence there, we had cattle there, so there was a fence. My guy pushed the dirt up to that. He said that he was asked to stop pushing it up there. If Robert wants more of a berm, he can have as high a berm as the county allows. We were asked to stop putting the berm up.
By who?
By you.
No, that's where you were wrong.
Okay, how,
We're not gonna do that.
okay.
Address us.
Well, yes, sir. So how, if the berm is wrong, that's an easy thing to remedy.
I'm assuming you didn't get a driveway permit if you're still working with them to try to get it.
There was an old driveway where we brought our machinery in and out, and obviously we've modified it. The driveway permit needs to be worked through Matt. We've been trying for a long time for that. Matt's at the road commission.
Sure, Frank, you have a follow-up question?
Yeah, the difference in the asphalt and the cement, what is their reasoning? Have they said they don't want to approve cement, but would do an asphalt?
I may not have this right, we might want to ask Mr. Briggs, but they said it's easier to tear out is basically the only thing that there is there. So, where we were, cement is more durable, longer lasting, less maintenance, and that's why we wanted cement.
Thank you.
Just ask a question, hours of operation, you have some hours listed here. I mean,
I think we're in standard compliance on that.
and then the issue with ag lime going on weekends, is that something that you're aware of regularly?
The township agreed to it. We've had that right along, and we've done that right along. We just making sure it was on the CUP.
No excavation on the weekend.
We do have a couple hundred head of cattle in there and calves, so we are back there feeding all the time. You know, inside that 185 point whatever acres, there's a lot of cattle and a lot of activity. We haul hay in there, and we haul manure out, under the right to farm law, I guess.
The cattle just running around inside here? Is that?
Yeah. I mean, they're fenced off from some areas, but to try to graze, you know, anything that's green, we try to utilize it.
What do you or can you do for some dust control?
Well, whatever you wish, but the dust control, I don't know that it has been that bad. And if it is, we will control it. We can put up a mister or whatever. As far as the dust off the plant, there has been very, very little. The dust off the cattle and stuff like that, you know, that's cattle. Off the plant, it has been very little. We haven't really produced that much until this fall, and it's been damp. So, you know, we're fighting damp conditions. So as far as the dust goes, there's not much. We can put a mister up if need be, but, you know, when you're screening wet material, it's typically not that dusty. Is that, I mean, we can elaborate on that more if need be.
It's fine, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Briggs, and as far as our talks with the road commission, what Matt Hanna's theory is, if there's a problem, it's easier for him to dig it up and to repair it. Well, I put the culvert in there, and I put it out of their right-of-way. So they would never have any reason to tear it up. There's no phone lines, nothing that runs on that side of the road. And as far as the water goes, yes, we had a heavy rainfall, and the culvert that takes water, that drains water to the other side of Kelly Highway was plugged, and I unplugged it for the road commission. It had trees growing on it. So, and once I did that and got the culvert in, the water situations were taken care of. So, you know, our talks with Matt are just to try and get a concrete approach instead of an asphalt approach. I'd rather have the wear go on the concrete than to put an asphalt approach in and have a spot start rutting out and track into their asphalt. So I'd rather have all the wear on the concrete instead. That's my theory of it. That's all I have to say. Do you have any questions?
Questions? So the culvert we're talking about is on this east entrance?
Yes. I put it outside the right of way, but everything is ditched to it.
I get what you're saying. I get that. So, and then just controlling the flow of water that would be heading towards this gentleman's property
No.
or away?
It heads to the east. And the culvert that crosses, that drains it under Kelly Road, that is to the east of the driveway. There's no ditch beyond that going east. There is no ditch. Because it's uphill.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Somebody in the back who wanted to speak earlier. Okay, so there's nothing really. If you're gonna talk, if you can come up here and state your name and address for the record.
My name is Nick Myers. I own the property across Kelly to the north of this whole situation. I'm not trying to start a huge thing, but I came here to sit in to listen. I'm now taking on all the diverted water from this new driveway culvert onto the front of my farm. Is there any way to properly fix it, or is there anything they can do, a retention pond or something to kind of slow down how fast it comes across the road? I'm not sure, but that is, I mean, when we get a big heavy rain, and I've got some pictures too, I had well over an acre underwater by 2 feet of water at least. Half of my cow pasture, I ended up moving my cows out of there. So that's not a huge issue now, but in a big spring thaw, we would take on some water. When the culvert was plugged, it would just come right over the road. Now that the new pit driveway's in there with the new culvert, diverting to the north and south culvert that comes over onto me, it's coming at a way faster pace. I mean, just, there's nowhere, you know, it's different. It just, the land has changed, which I understand. It happens. But if there's something that can be done with that, it would be great. So, you know, and I've talked to Rob about it on the phone not too long ago, and like I said, I'm not coming up here to go crazy, but I just wanted to address that. And the dust control on the driveway coming into Kelly, it's non-existent. It's so horrible. I have clouds of dust in the summertime when it's dry coming over that you can't even see across my 60-acre property. It just all is coming out of their driveway straight to the north. I grow hay across the road now. Dust isn't real great when you got windrows out there ready to bale. But, you know, I understand, so it would be really nice to see some dust control over there. And that'd be the extent of what I'd like to say.
Have you talked to Mr. Cook about it when it's been real dusty?
I mean, I haven't, but they know. They all, I mean, it's evident. It's bad. Along with the mud across the roads. I mean, we've all got pictures, talked to the, you know, obviously a driveway, a concrete or asphalt driveway would take care of, you know, huge rocks and 3-inch thick mud and stuff being drug out onto the road. That'd be great. I don't live there. It's a vacant property, so I'm not as affected as he is. But still, when I go there to farm and all that, you know, it's kind of like, a lot has changed because of the pit. So I would just like to see some drainage and some dust control maybe figured out on that situation, if possible.
I'm curious, you're talking about the dust, does that originate from the driveway when
Yeah,
you're
as
traveling? Or
trucks are coming in and
not from,
out mainly.
not from the process that they screen it?
No, I haven't had any dust from
okay.
the process, just from the driveway.
Okay.
But those are my two concerns that I wanted to bring up. And I'm sure they'll get taken care of now that we all speak about it, so that'll do it. Thank you.
I guess one more time, Mr. Cook, and then we're gonna.
To talk to Nick's points, as far as the water goes, him and I have recently had a discussion. There's draining issues that have been there right along. We've got tile that go across the road. Tile's plugged up on his side. It's inadequate. It has been for I farmed that property before. It's a wet piece of land. The property has inadequate drainage. I've told him that we'd help him with the drainage. We're doing the same thing on the other side. We're upgrading the outlet down below. As far as the dust, we have a water wagon. We have put water on the road, or the drive. I guess we can work together with him on that, but I didn't see it as dusty as what I've heard here, so I guess if you have questions, let me know.
Great, thank you, sir.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
I'm just aware of one gravel location where they had, I don't know what you call it, where they drive through about 4 inches of water, either prior to the scale or just beyond it, that would take a lot of that dirt and leave it on site, not out in the drive or someplace. But I'm not sure what the remedy, I just aware of that option.
Okay, I believe we'll close the public portion of the hearing now and deliberate amongst the commissioners. Have any thoughts?
Sounds like some lobbying at the road commission ought to be done to get that remedied as far as driveway.
Probably be the ones to figure out the culvert issues as well, I would think.
That's at the drain commissioner.
Depending on who owns it.
I honestly think they're kind of on the right track, right? I mean, as long as water's kind of, the downstream landowner is unfortunately subservient to all the clean water. Now, what I would, mention, Mr. Cook, I'm usually the right to farm guy, so you definitely have the right to do all that stuff. You got to keep the soil, and everything on your property. So as soon as they're seeing silt there, it's an issue on a number of fronts. So, I don't know whether that's happened. I'm a little confused on whether that's happened across the road or in this adjacent neighbor's yard. I mean, I think, it would make sense to continue the berming the same way it's on the other sides. I think that makes sense to me, but, yeah, as long as you're keeping your sediment on your property, I mean, the water's kind of a separate issue. And, to the driveway piece, I mean, people can, put these culverts in to manage the water on their property, so, I think if they can work on that cooperatively to manage the water, get the drain fixed, I think that's probably the best solution in terms of that one, but I guess that's my initial thought. I don't know if, I guess I would ask staff whether there's some thoughts on, measures people are using to keep the dust down.
You would ask me if I would address the concerns of the first property owner. Would you like me to still do that, to go through zoning ordinance requirements and things of that nature, and then I can also address that? So the question of the first property owner is how far can they mine up to the property line? Is 25 feet. They are in compliance with that. The site plan that you see before you is exactly what the property looks like if you were to go out there. They are not outside of the provisions of their conditional use permit or their site plan as it was approved in 2022. I will tell you that the drainage issues and the silt fencing are not the purview of the Planning Commission. They are not the purview of the conditional use permit. They are the purview of the Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office. The Eaton County Drain Commissioner's Office in the past used to respond to our conditional use permit site plan reviews with very detailed instructions as to what a property owner had to do to mitigate any water issues if they foreshadowed something or if something needed to be remedied. We didn't get that with any of these applications. We got a blanket approval. So at the end of this meeting, I will get the two property owners' phone numbers and I will reach out to the Drain Commissioner's Office myself to see how I can assist the Drain Commissioner's Office in working with them to mitigate the water flow issues. That's where that problem lies, not with the Planning Commission. In the past, as far as dust control, water trucks, FG Cheney has a water truck. FG Cheney is probably the dustiest mine we have in Eaton County, and it is dusty, and they run their water truck nonstop. When I did my mining inspections, it was October. It was wet. There was no dust present. Was there dirt on the road? Yes, they don't have an appropriate approach. Another solution, so beyond the water truck, another solution is a mister that would be attached to the scale to rinse off the tires prior to it leaving the site. That's not a huge lift or a huge ask, and that is something the Planning Commission could put as a requirement of the conditional use permit. The Planning Commission could put a deadline on when do they have their driveway permit and their approach installed on this property at both driveways, the old entrance and the new entrance. Like I said, I am aware, I have spoken with Matt Hannas regarding this property in particular. And Mr. Cook and Mr. Briggs have been 100% honest. They need a variance from the road commission regarding the approach, whether asphalt versus concrete. So it's not for not working with the road commission, it's a process to get through the variance process with the road commission. The hours of operation are compliant with the zoning ordinance. Actually, I was going to bring that up. Hours as written and hours allowed are Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday from 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. There are no operation hours on Sundays or the following holidays: New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving Day, and Christmas Day. This does not include the operation of the lime that is on the property because the lime is considered agricultural. And obviously, he has a whole herd of cattle on the property. He has cattle, he has donkeys. He has lots of animals out there. It's always an interesting mining inspection, but I think I answered the questions of the neighbors that I could regarding the zoning ordinance and the conditional use permit. The request before you is not any different than the request that was before you in 2022 that was approved.
So could you repeat the name of the technology to take the dust off the tires as it left the pit?
It's a wheel washer.
Wheel wash.
Yeah.
Randall's had 150.
Mhm.
Need a lot more space to work with.
Oh, and the scale doesn't require a permit. It's a piece of equipment. It's not a structure, so.
Anyone like to step up here?
Yeah, I'll do it. So, well, I guess just, I'm gonna include my motion, just for the planning commission's benefit, the addition of a uniform berm that matches the other side. The berms are on this residence to the north, the gentleman that spoke with us today. So, should probably be a berm to the west. I think that makes a lot of sense. Doesn't sound like that's an issue for the property owner. And so that should be uniform. I guess I'm gonna include in my motion, wheel wash station at, entrances that trucks are leaving. So I guess, I presume that's both, but if at some point they were to abandon one, I guess they could abandon the wheel wash as well, since it's a permanent approval now. We'll include the hours of operation for agricultural lime that the township identified. The addition of those hours is specified in their piece. So with that, I'll move CU 122514 with the addition of lime transport hours, a berm to the identified property on the west, and the addition of wheel wash facilities at both entrances, as long as they're being utilized for hauling.
Support. A motion to support. Any other discussion?
Ben, did you want to include anything about the driveway permit, as Brandy had said, or do we want to just leave that alone and let that be sorted out with the road commission?
I think we could have that conversation, we want to put a time limit on it. You guys know how I feel about putting mandates on other people's work, but
The way I did.
we could definitely have that conversation, because it does sound like it's been going on for a while, but sounds like everybody's aware of it, so.
In some respects, maybe the wheel wash
Solves our,
may solve that problem from our perspective.
yeah.
Don't wish to put any timeframes. Is that what you were saying? Just clarify.
If the group felt strongly, I might be willing to amend that motion, but I guess I don't necessarily see it.
Wanna do it.
Yeah.
I don't feel strongly, I just wanted to make sure we addressed it.
I would rather not.
Yeah. Got it.
On the berm, if they add additional berm, does the 25-foot space from the line still have to be in place? Or can they have the berm closer to the, any line fences?
The berm can be as close, right up to the property line. It's the excavating itself as for the mining.
Okay.
It has to be 25 feet.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure, Frank?
Just, I'm not sure I'm clear if we have the wheel wash thing and it's still not a hard surface, is that gonna accomplish anything without have some comments about the driveway being paved or asphalt, either cement or asphalt?
So I think I heard that they were required to get a driveway permit. So, with that understanding, it's gonna have to be asphalt or concrete. Where they land on that, I don't know, but I hear that they, and it says that in the language that they have to obtain those permits. So again, I don't know as we're in a position to set a time frame on that, but I think that they're required to obtain that for this to be a valid CUP, so.
Good enough, yeah.
Any other discussion? Not if we get a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Ryan Ross.
Yes.
Mr. Ross, Mr. Chair, may I have a brief moment so I can go get the name and number of the surrounding property owners so I can be in contact with them,
Sure.
please?
Yeah, I think that'd be great.
Let's take we'll say 10 minutes, but shorter would be better. Use the restroom, stretch your legs.
I know, trying to keep up.
Recess at the call of the chair.
Oh, yeah.
If we could have the staff report on CU-12-25-15, please.
This is a request by Steve and Lisa Briggs, owners of Nightingale Valley LLC and Cole Briggs, for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from property located at 10580 and 10320 West Vermontville Highway, section 20 of Vermontville Township. The property is 147.84 acres in totality. The property is zoned limited agricultural and surrounded by limited agricultural zoning. Land use and land use history is surface mine, residential, and agricultural. Surrounding is residential and agricultural. The soils class on-site is non-essential. Surrounding is essential and non-essential. West Vermontville Highway is a major road. The applicant requested conditional use permit to continue the operation of a surface mine per Article 14.25 of the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. They state extraction and processing of sand and gravel, no more than 30 acres opened or disturbed at a time. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 3 employees will be on site during the hours of operation. Portable toilets are located on the property. They are cleaned by Briners. Items stored on site include trucks, loaders, processors, and material. There is one existing driveway to the mining site. It is paved but does not have curb and gutter. Traffic to the site is approximately 30 loads per day. Parking is provided for 4 vehicles. The parking area is not lit or paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks. The applicant states this request should be granted because we are MSHA compliant and the community is dependent on the material for septic fields, concrete, and masonry materials, drainage and road construction, as well as sand for ice control and fill. The application was sent out for site plan review. Prior to writing the staff report, the Berry District Health Department approved the request. Vermontville Township approved the request with a requirement to please add a concrete apron to the drive and repair Vermontville Highway edge. In addition, Donna Cervelli from Eagle Floodplain Management section said there are regulated floodplains associated with the Scipio Creek for this site. Any filling, grading, or occupation within this 100-year floodplain would require a permit under state's federal floodplain regulatory authority as found in Part 31. They are not grading, mining, or occupying the floodplain on this site. Claire Watts from Eagle Wetlands Regulation says a Part 31 and 301 permit through Eagle is required to conduct a mining operation on 10320 West Vermontville Highway or 10580 West Vermontville Highway. It is advised that the landowner consider holding a pre-application meeting to talk to the permit process. Below you will find a map of wetlands on the site as well as pre-application materials. Staff will be working with the applicants to go through what this requires of them. And that is all of our site plan reviews. I do not have one from the Drain Commissioner's office. 15 surrounding property owners were notified by first-class mail. No written responses were received. Included in your staff report is zoning ordinance section 14.25. The property's master plan is resource conservation and agricultural preservation. Staff comments: historically, a mine has operated from this site on and off since the 50s. The current owners of the property have operated a surface mine since 2009. The last conditional use permit issued was CU 415-9. Since ownership of the property, the current owners have made great improvements toward the reclamation of the site for areas left in violation by previous owner-operators of the property. The Eaton County Planning Commission amended the zoning ordinance in 2024, DCA 324-2, removing the expiration of conditional use permits issued for surface mines. I put Mr. Cook is applying, but it's really Mr. Briggs is applying for his final conditional use permit. Staff has inspected the mine annually. The last inspection took place on October 25th of 2025. Staff has found the operation to be in compliance with the current conditional use permit and this application. I will go on to say that on the east boundary line of the site, there's quite a large violation that was left from the historical mining. And the Briggs family is doing a tremendous job to bring that into compliance. It is a straight up and down cliff that was left. And as they are working the site, as they are bringing material in and out, they are doing a wonderful job to try to make that area much safer than what it was when they obtained it. The applicants have a surety bond in favor of Eaton County in the amount of $63,000. This complies with the ordinance requirements in the previous Planning Commission approval. The applicants are aware they are required to be compliant with all agency requirements, including but not limited to Vermontville Township, Eaton County Drain Commissioner, Eaton County Road Commission, and Eagle. As with any surface mine request, the Planning Commission may also wish to discuss ingress and egress from the site, dust control, and road maintenance, other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.6.3, basis of the Planning Commission decision, and Article 14.25, surface mining of the zoning ordinance have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions for staff?
Yes, who was it that recommended concrete apron?
It was the Vermontville Township Board.
And they will run into the same problem with the road commission as that last one we talked to.
I believe that they are hopeful that the road commission with the township support will allow for the concrete apron.
Thank you.
Any other questions of staff? Okay, if the applicant would like to come up and they have anything to add.
I'm Stephen Briggs, and when we originally went in there, the road commission or Blair Blue that was running it at the time, they never requested any work to be done at that driveway. You know, he really would have liked to have seen it someplace else on the property, but all he could see was wetlands. And we're just using the driveway that was always there since it was opened up. And this is the first anybody's requested to have a paved approach on there. And other than that, you know, if we're gonna do it, I want a concrete one. That's part of talking with the road commission. I've talked to Matt, and Matt was gonna get me the papers to turn in to petition the road commission, and I don't know what's happened with that. And so I brought it up to Dwayne on the road commission board. Dwayne said he'd take care of it. And now I heard Dwayne was off for triple bypass surgery. And then I heard Matt was off on vacation again, or out for another 2 weeks, so. Yes, it's just been a little struggle to get everyone on board to get the paperwork in to address the road commission board. But we are in the process of that.
Are there any questions, Mr. Briggs?
So are you gonna do anything about, do you think a wheel wash system there would be something you could do there, or do you need that? I mean, there's a lot of dirt on the road there.
That would be more difficult with that wetlands there, because if I did it, I would have to do it quite a ways back.
I mean, I have a little concern because of that, you're right on that curve there.
Yep.
And there's a lot of accidents where people are going too fast, and then that extra sand there might give them a little less traction to make the curve, so.
We've been there since about 9.
Yeah.
Or 09, working at it.
Yeah.
And we haven't had any accidents yet, and God forbid that we do.
Well, no, not with you. I'm just talking about other speeders that shoot through there.
But, no, we're working to address the issue the best we can. But I think first into the road commission's hands. Let them get their permission to do anything.
Any other questions? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Anyone like to speak in favor of the application? Certainly.
Rob Cook. I happened to be at the same Vermontville meeting with Steve, and Dwayne from the road commission was there, and we talked a little bit about both of our driveways, and then, as Steve stated, they just, health reasons and other stuff, it hasn't gone through, so hopefully our road commission will work with us on the cement. And I do think that that'll alleviate a lot of the stuff coming on the road if we're approved to do that. That's it.
Thank you. Anyone else like to speak in favor? Anyone like to speak in opposition? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
Ray, have you seen dust on that road as a vicinity?
It's kind of dirty, and like I say, it is on a curve. And what I was getting at was a lot of people go flying around there. I've actually known probably at least 3 people that were seriously injured just because they go too fast. I just worry about the extra sand on there, and that'll be less traction for these speeders, you know.
Might be good in the winter.
I know, I was thinking the same thing. But yeah, it's just dirty, and it's because he's got to drive through a mud hole to get out of there. You know, it's very low land right there.
Maybe the concrete aprons.
I think it'll help a lot because most of it is the mud from where he has to drive through the mud to get out of there because they're not approving his drive. So.
All right. I'm gonna move CU 122515.
Support.
We have a motion to support. Any other discussion? Okay, if we could have a roll call vote, please.
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes. Okay, when you have a moment, when you get time, would you please give us the staff report on CU-12-25-19, please?
Sure will. Mr. Cook and Mr. Briggs, I will be sending you your final conditional use permits. I'll just need you to sign them and send them back to me, please. I will also need Cole's signature on the new one for you, Steve. Last one. CU 122519 is, it got a little complicated during your break. The person that I have been working with for about 12 years on this pit no longer works for Davis Construction. The new owners are the people that are sitting in the audience. They were the owners when the application was made, but it was made by somebody that ran the pit. So they might be a little lacking if you have a lot of questions. I just wanted to warn you of that. The owners of the business are now Mark Davis and Heather Hedges. So they'll be the ones getting up and speaking during public comment, and obviously I'll be having extensive conversations with them after the fact. So that said, the request by Shaytown Gravel LLC and Davis Construction, Inc. for a conditional use permit to allow for the operation of a surface mine per zoning ordinance section 14.25 from property located at 11659 and 11777 North Shaytown Road, Section 14 of Sunfield Township. The site is 39.04 acres. The property is zoned limited agricultural, as is the surrounding property. The land use and land use history is a surface mine. The surrounding is residential and agricultural. The on-site soils is non-essential. Surrounding is essential and non-essential. Shaytown Road is not a major road. The applicants request a conditional use permit to continue the operation of a surface mine per Article 14.25 of the Eaton County Land Development Code zoning ordinance. They state storage of natural stone, storage of materials to be recycled, concrete and asphalt, crushing of this material will not take place in the next 5 years. Excavation of sand, clean soils brought in and used in restoration. The hours of operation are planned to be in compliance with the zoning ordinance requirements. 1 employee will be on site during the hours of operation as needed. Items to be stored on site include loader, excavator, dozer, and 1 fuel barrel. There are 2 existing driveways to the site. They are not paved and do not have curb and gutter. Traffic to the site varies. It can range from 10 vehicles in 60 days to no vehicles for 30 days. At times, up to 20 vehicles per day for a span of 2 weeks. This is rare and intermittent. The type of vehicles are semis. Parking is provided for 2 vehicles. The parking area is not lit or paved. Supplies are brought to the site by semi-trucks. The applicant states CU 91707 was transferred to them, and then they received CU 81523. The applicant states this request should be granted because the surface mine has little to no effect on the neighboring properties, with the only exception being occasional increased traffic. However, we are a bridge contractor, and these locations are very necessary for the improvement of not only Eaton County infrastructure, but statewide infrastructure. The application was sent out for site plan review. It was approved by the Barry Eaton District Health Department prior to writing the staff report. After writing the staff report, the Eaton County Road Commission sent in a response. I reviewed the above-mentioned CUP application and have the following comments. I recommend the CUP proprietor to obtain a haul route permit from the Road Commission and require the haul route permit to be renewed annually. Surety is required for the haul route in the amounts of $20,000 a mile for paved roads and $12,000 for gravel roads. Eaton Conservation District, reviewed and said no concerns, but Eagle advised seeking permits for various items. I don't have a response from Eagle for this application. Sunfield Township approved with a comment, no issue, same as previous years. Zoning ordinance section 14.25 is included in your staff report. This property is master planned as resource conservation and agricultural preservation. Staff comments, a surface mine has operated from this property since the mid to late 70s. A conditional use permit was first obtained in 2007, CU 8074, by the previous owner, Mr. Leonard Brown. Mr. Brown's last conditional use permit, CU 91107, was transferred to Davis Construction. Davis Construction has been the mine owner and operator since then. The Eaton County Planning Commission amended the zoning ordinance in 2024, DCA 3242, removing the expiration of conditional use permits issued for surface mine. The applicant is applying for their final conditional use permit. Staff has inspected the mine annually. The last inspection took place in October of 2025. Staff has found the operation to be compliant with the current conditional use permit and this application. The applicant has a surety bond in favor of Eaton County in the amount of $37,000. This complies with the ordinance requirements and previous Planning Commission approval. The applicant is aware it is required to be compliant with all agency requirements, including but not limited to the Eaton County Drain Commissioner, the Eaton County Road Commission, and Eagle. As with any surface mine request, the Planning Commission may also wish to discuss ingress, egress from the site, dust control, and road maintenance and other criteria in the current ordinance. Article 9.3.6, basis of the Planning Commission decision, and Article 14.25, surface mine of the zoning ordinance have been included for review while considering this request. That completes the staff report.
Are there any questions to staff? Okay. If the applicant would like to come forward and they'd like to add anything. You'd say your names for us, please.
I'm Mark Davis.
I'm Heather Hinges for Davis Construction.
Anything you'd like to add to it, or
Not at this time.
do we have any questions for the applicants? All right, thank you. Is there anyone that would like to speak in favor of the application? Anyone like to speak in opposition to the application? Seeing none, we'll close the public portion of the hearing and deliberate amongst the commissioners.
I move CU 122519.
Support.
We have a motion to support. Any discussion? Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Scott Hansen,
Yes.
Ben Terrell,
Yes.
Ray Whitaker,
Yes.
Ed Kemp,
Yes.
Tim Catron,
Yes.
Zachary Dillinger,
Yes.
Frank Holmes,
Yes.
Brian Ross.
Yes.
Heather and Mark, your conditional use permit was approved. I will be reaching out to you in the next couple of weeks to actually schedule a time for you to come in my office so we can talk about the history of the property, what does a conditional use permit mean, and you know the parameters of which it was approved. The Planning Commission was able to hear this request because the applicant was the actual company and not one individual. So you're good, and we'll get through it, okay? You're welcome.
Okay, farmland preservation, there are none, I believe. No other business, correct?
That is correct.
Reports, any reports?
Not at this time.
Public comments? Okay, seeing none. Upcoming cases, there are no applications. Are we gonna hear the DCA on the 6th?
We're going to hear the change of conditions for the Narrow Lake Country Store and their district change amendment application. They are the ones that request a postponement from last night's meeting to January 6th due to the death of the property owner that they were buying the property from. I guess I do have a small report. Today at Public Works and Planning, the Public Works and Human Services Committee did vote to reappoint Brian, Zach, and Tim to the Planning Commission for a term to be decided by the Board of Commissioners on December 17th, which is when they would be making a decision on if there's a date to repeal the zoning ordinance. Public Works and Human Services recommended an appeal date of May 31st.
Okay. That's it. If someone would like to make a motion,
So moved.
Support.
all in favor of adjournment, say aye. Aye. Opposed, the same. We're done.